Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at Dragon Ball Z Part 2, the stage of the Supreme Magnificent Battles, the Super Warriors Edition stage, and we're going to see just how difficult it can be. Now, there's a mission for this using artificial life forms. I'll do that in a separate video, and I'm going to be honest with you right off the bat. This stage is not really that hard. There's some interesting stuff they do here, like they continue the trend of having some multi-enemy phases, quite a few in fact. So AoE attacks, I guess, are something you're going to want to appeal to. They also do this thing where their heavy units get stronger depending on who's been knocked out. We'll get to that, but generally speaking, honestly, this one was quite easy. So what I would suggest is bring your strongest team, and you'll probably get through more than fine. It's really not overtly too hard, obviously bearing in mind that it is still a Supreme Magnificent Battle. It is still a challenging stage. It's not like a Dokkan event, but I would say based on like the current metrics, hardened battles and red zones and things like that, it's just not really that hard. So we have the first phase, a multi-enemy fight against the Hybrid Saiyans trio, Vegeta and Piccolo. They all hit for between 700 to 950k on Super. Some of them can be sealed, they can be stunned. It's a mixed bag. Their health pool is so low, from 5 million to 10.5, that you can pretty much eliminate them with one attack. So what that means is that a lot of the enemies, especially the first couple of turns, they're just too low in health to really represent a challenge, especially if you're bringing like a moderately high level team. You're bringing your planetary destructions, your uncontrollable powers, your USSs, your Majin Buu sagas, your Majin powers, like those teams are not going to have a problem here. Krillin and 18, both with about 12 million health, they gain attack and defense based on whether the other one is, knocked out first. So Krillin will get a boost if Android 18 is knocked out, Android 18 if Krillin is, but again, just nothing too crazy. They're hitting for about 1.1 million, which I never thought I'd say years ago, but it is what it is. Hercule, same thing. Hercule hits for about 800k, he can stun you, but he's only got 10 million health. He just melts like a lot of the units in this challenge. Great Saiyaman and Videl, here things get a little bit more interesting, 20 million and 15 million health each. Also a bit more damage. Great Saiyaman's clocking in at about 1.3, 1.5 if Videl's knocked out because he gets an attack boost. And the same with Videl, she's hitting at about 1.3. Videl obviously doesn't do too much, but the Great Saiyaman does quite a bit actually. He can seal you as well. All in all, not anything too crazy, to be honest with you. I think, both of them just aren't really, again, too low on health. Like they just don't have enough health. You can very easily take them out quite quickly, and that gives you good grounding to just kind of proceed. Then you come to the Hybrid Saiyan trio, Super Saiyan Gohan Teen, Super Saiyan Goten Kid, Super Saiyan Trunks Kid. They're basically an improved version of the first phase, so whereas those units had too little health, these guys have a bit more, 20 million, 16 million, and 15 million. But again, they're hitting for about 1 million, 1.2 million on the Super, and by now you've already gone through, at the very least, even if you beat everything in one turn, like 4 turns. So your rotations are set up, your units are built up a little bit. So they're just not hitting hard enough to really warrant being like a huge concern. They just don't hit hard enough. So you should be able to handle them fairly decently. Obviously, bear all this in mind. I am talking comparative to other high difficulty events. So I'm not talking comparative to Dokkan events or anything like that. New players, you can very clearly still struggle with this content. But I'm more talking like if you're talking against meta teams, this event just isn't too hard, realistically. And then the final unit that we take on is the Goku Angel, with 60 million health, the most by far in the event, and 1.4 million super that he can fire off twice. He can be somewhat challenging. Like, he does also greatly lower defense, which is actually very, very, very important. And he can also super you twice in a row. So he can super you twice in a row. He does lower defense quite substantially on that first one, so he can present a couple challenges for players. Like, it's not just an easy, walk through. But again, only 60 million health. I mean, we're fighting bosses in the red zone with, 500 million health and things like that. So, again, it's just not too difficult to handle him. He's immune to stunning, sealing, attack, and defense down, but realistically, once you can start to sink your claws into the stage, he's already defeated generally before you can even kind of kick off. I think if they'd given him maybe double the health or another 50% up on super, then things maybe would have been different. But for the way he is now, it just doesn't really feel too challenging. For this event, I used the Super Heroes team, and honestly, went smoothly. The nice thing about the Super Heroes team is the taunt abilities of these Gohans. They do, although the phases weren't too hard, they do give you that extra security against multiple enemies, especially later on when you get nervous about which units might take a super. The fact that he can, take those supers, take all those attacks basically, and allow you to just select a unit to blow up each turn, gives you some good grounding, and I would say overall, a pretty good foundation for victory. But that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. It's always greatly appreciated. If you have any questions or queries, you can let me know in the comments down below. And if you need any help, you can also ask there as well. I think this one was pretty simple, and I think it's actually a fun event, but not hard.